Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on data or data. Some people call it data, others call it data. Data refers to things that can be collected by using a survey. They are called data because they have not yet been organised. Once data are organised, we then have information. The things that are collected could be numbers, colours, symbols or anything else. Let's look at the first example. A survey of 20 students was taken to find out the favourite colour of each student. The results were as follows. So let's assume a teacher took a survey of 20 students in a class and these were their answers. That's called data because it hasn't been organised. The collection of the 20 colours represent data. When they are organised as follows, they become information. Because they are organised now, we can make sense of them. It can be seen from the above that red is the most popular colour, because it has the highest number. Green is the least popular, it has the smallest number. And blue, yellow and pink are equally popular, because they have the same number. We can also use pictures when collecting data. For example, we take a survey of 6 random students from a class. We ask them to tell us the number of books they read last year. So once all that data has been collected, we can put it in this beautiful form here in the form of a table, and we can use the books because it's all about books. So each little picture here represents one book that has been read. So we can see here that Faye is the best reader because she read 6 books and Tim only read 1. Data can also be gathered and a graph can be constructed. The table below shows the favourite sports of a number of students. So these are very popular graphs, these ones. So when all the data has been collected, we can see that tennis is approximately, could be 22 or 23 students. We can see football is about 15. Cricket, it's about 14 or 15. Say, or now what's that? That's about 9 or 10 there. So cricket is about 9 or 10. Squash, approximately 4 or 5. And darts, a little bit, say 2. Possibly 2 here. So when you put it in the form of a graph, it just gives you a quick indication of the popularity, for example, of each sport. It's very clear, for example, that tennis is popular, darts is not very popular. Okay? Now, if you wanted very exact numbers, you would probably go up here by 1s or possibly by 2s. But when you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that just gives you a good indication of what's happening. If you wanted a more accurate graph, you'd make this line here a lot longer and you possibly would go up by 2s. That's not a bad way to do it. Constructing a table. Here's an example. A survey of 20 students gave the following data with respect to favourite sports. So here are the 20 answers. So when that's all organised, we can see something here where we can gather information. We can say something without a doubt, because look, we have the numbers here, see? When you look at this here, there's not much happening. But here, we have numbers. Now, I'll explain this in a minute, what that means there. These are tally marks which help us keep track of the counting. I'll explain that down here in a minute. We can now see that tennis is the most popular sport. Golf and soccer enjoy the same popularity. Baseball is the least popular sport. And that's simply by the numbers. The names in the yellow box represent data. When they were organised in a meaningful way, they became information. So we've got data, information. Now this is how we keep track of what's happening. Tally marks help us to keep track of our counting. In this way, we can be sure that all the data is included in the final column. Let's, for example, take tennis. Now, what we do here is this. We start from the first choice, which is tennis, and we do 1 stroke. we go to the next. We have to do this systematically so we don't miss any. Go to golf, 1 stroke. Baseball, 1 stroke. Golf, another stroke. So that's 2 for golf. We keep doing that right to the end. When we've done that, we can see that this is what we ended up with. Now, what does this mean for tennis? Well, I'll show you what it means. For tennis, we went 1, 2, 3, 4. For the 5th one, we did that. That's a bundle of 5, and that makes our counting easy. We obviously saw 1 more for tennis. 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's how you do it. With golf, we only saw 5, so we counted the first 4, and the 5th one we did a stroke. That gives us our bundle of 5. So tally marks are a very good way of keeping track of our data so that we don't miss any. So that means 1, that means 2, that means 3, that means 4, and that means 5. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video which has talked about data and how data can be transformed into information. So then we can make some conclusions.